Why does my body smell like this? What is happening to me? No go near her or. I hear say she follow those Lagos girls, those runs girls. And the worst part, she trusted them. 2 weeks earlier, Chioma came to Lagos with only one goal, to succeed. Mommy, I have arrived safely. Remember why you are there. Focus on your studies. Yes, Mommy. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye. Those ones, they don't read books.
But Chioma didn't know she was about to meet them.
So you are the new girl?
Yes. My name is Chioma.
Innocent. We will take care of you. And that was the first mistake, Vivi. Chioma, how much do you spend in a week?
I just managed.
Manage in Lagos? You are joking. There is another way to live. I don't understand. You will. Mommy, I need some money for food and handouts. Chioma, things are not easy here. We are managing. I understand, but I really need it. Just manage the one you have for now. Okay, Mommy. And that was when the pressure started. This one now original. 200k perfume. Sir said he's sending something again. See the alert we entered last night? Chioma, how long you won't continue like this? I'm trying. Trying, ke? Lagos no be place for trying. Listen, nobody is saying you should do anything big. I don't want problem. Problem? You think we get problem? Just one trip. Abuja. You'll come back with money.
After Chioma said yes, everything changed faster than she expected. Not slowly, not gradually, immediately. The next morning, Amora walked into the room with a different energy, not the playful teasing from before, this time. She was serious. She dropped a box on the bed. Inside it were clothes Chioma had never worn before, tight dresses, bright colors, expensive shoes. Kamsi stood behind her, watching quietly. No jokes, no laughter, just pressure. In silence, Chioma hesitated, but not for long, because at that point, she had already crossed the line. They transformed her. Makeup carefully done, lips glossy, skin glowing, her simple look gone. Replaced with something new, something Lagos, something dangerous. And when she looked at herself in the mirror, she didn't fully recognize the girl staring back at her, but she liked what she saw. That was the beginning. The trip was arranged immediately, no delays, no second thoughts. At the airport, Chioma felt small. People stared at them, not because they were loud, but because they looked expensive, put together, untouchable. Amora walked like she owned the place. Kamsi followed with confidence. Chioma tried to keep up, but inside her, fear was growing. On the plane, nobody talked much. The mood had changed. Everything felt planned, controlled. When they landed in Abuja, the air felt different, quiet, heavy. The car that picked them up did not look normal. Dark, tinted, silent. As they drove, the city lights slowly disappeared behind them, and the road ahead became darker. Chioma noticed it, but said nothing. When they arrived, the building did not look like a hotel. It was too quiet, too still. Inside, he was waiting. The man did not greet them like others. He didn't smile. He didn't act impressed. He just looked at Chioma for too long. That was when her body reacted, a sudden discomfort. A warning she couldn't explain, but she ignored it, because Amora was calm, Kamsi was calm, so she forced herself to stay calm. That night, something shifted, something unseen, far away. A ritual had already begun, and without knowing it, Chioma had become part of it. The next day, everything felt wrong. Amora avoided her eyes. Kamsi was unusually quiet. No one explained anything. Then came the second movement. Another trip, another location. This time, The road was worse, more isolated, more silent. That was when fear became real. By the time she understood, she was already inside, and that night, something was taken, not just from her body, but from her life. When she returned to school, nothing looked different, but everything had changed. The smell started slowly, then it spread, people noticed, then avoided, then rejected her. No matter what she did, it didn't stop, and the same girls who brought her in started disappearing from her life, one by one, as if she was never part of them. Far away, the man who chose her was rising. Everything was working for him, and Chioma was paying the price. Her life didn't crash, it didn't explode, it simply stopped moving forward, and the worst part, she remembered exactly when it started, the moment she said yes. After people started avoiding Chioma, it didn't stop, it got worse. At first, it was just whispers, low voices behind her back, quick glances, people pretending not to stare. Then it became obvious. Whenever she entered a room, the air changed. Students would suddenly stand up, move away, open windows, spray perfume, anything to escape it. Chioma tried everything, different soaps, different creams, even expensive perfumes Amora once used. Nothing worked. Instead, it became stronger, darker, heavier. At night, she started hearing things, soft whispers, not clear, but close, too close. She would wake up suddenly, heart racing, sweating, looking around the room, nothing, but the feeling stayed, like someone was there, watching, waiting. One night, she couldn't take it anymore. She went to Amora's room, but something was wrong. The room was empty, not just empty, abandoned, clothes gone, shoes gone, everything gone. It was like they had never been there. Kamsi's room, the same thing, no trace, no explanation. That was when fear changed into panic. Chioma was alone, completely alone. The next day, she tried calling them, their numbers, not reachable, messages, not delivered. It was like they disappeared. That was when she remembered, that night, the man, the silence, the way they avoided her. Everything started connecting, and for the first time, she said it out loud, "This is not normal." But it was already too late. Far away, the man stood in front of a crowd, people cheering, calling his name, celebrating him. Everything was working for him, power, respect, victory. And Chioma was breaking, her body was changing, her confidence gone, her presence rejected, her future fading, and the worst part, she was still alive to feel everything. The next day, Chioma did not go to class, not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. Every step outside her room felt like punishment. The stairs were no longer hidden. People looked at her openly now, with disgust, with fear. But that wasn't the worst part. The whispers had changed. They were no longer behind her, they were around her, closer, clearer, calling her name, Chioma. She froze, because this time, she heard it clearly, right behind her, but when she turned, no one was there. That was the moment she knew, this was no longer physical, something had followed her. Something she could not see. That night, it came closer. She didn't just hear it anymore, she felt it, a presence, breathing, moving, inside her room. Chioma tried to scream, but no sound came out. Her body froze, her eyes wide open, but she could not move. And then, she felt something touch her, cold, unnatural. That was when she broke. The next morning, she ran, not to Amora, not to Kamsi, but to the only place she could think of, a church. She didn't care how far, she didn't care how she looked, she just ran. But even there, peace did not come. Because as she stepped inside, people turned, not in welcome, in discomfort. Even there, something was wrong, and that was when she realized, this was not something she could run from. This was not something she could run from, because wherever she went, it followed. Even inside the church, she could feel it, not as a whisper this time, but as a weight, heavy, pressing, like something invisible was standing too close to her. The pastor kept preaching, people kept listening. But Chioma could not hear anything. Her ears were ringing, her chest felt tight, and then, it happened again. Chioma This time, inside the church, her eyes widened. She turned quickly. People shifted away from her immediately, not because they heard it, but because of her. The smell, it had followed her there too. A woman sitting beside her stood up abruptly, covered her nose, and moved away. Another person followed, then another, until Chioma was sitting alone, in the middle of a crowd. That was when fear turned into something worse. Hopelessness, because now there was nowhere left to go. Suddenly, her body became weak, her hands started shaking, her breathing became uneven, and then, she collapsed, right there, inside the church. Everything went dark. When she opened her eyes, she was not in the church anymore. She was lying on a bed, a different place, quiet, too quiet. An elderly woman sat beside her, watching her, silently. For a moment, Chioma said nothing, because something about the woman felt different, not normal, not ordinary, but not evil either, just deep. The woman leaned closer and spoke softly, "You went somewhere you should not have gone." Chioma's heart dropped, because she understood immediately, not everything, but enough. The woman continued, "What followed you back was not meant to live." A cold fear ran through her body, because now, it had a meaning. This was not random, this was not sickness, this was not imagination, this was a consequence. The woman's voice became firmer, "You were used." Silence filled the room, heavy silence. Chioma's eyes filled with tears, not confusion this time, understanding, painful understanding. And the price is still being paid. Chioma shook her head slowly, tears falling freely now. No. But deep down, she already knew, because everything was adding up, the man, the night, the fear, the smell, the whispers, everything. And then, the woman said something that made everything worse. "There is only one way out." Chioma looked up immediately, hope, desperate hope, but the woman did not smile. Her face remained serious, because what she was about to say was not easy. "There is only one way out." The word stayed in the air, heavy, uncomfortable. Chioma's heart was beating fast, because for the first time, there was hope, but something about the woman's face made that hope feel dangerous. What way? Her voice was weak, almost shaking. The old woman did not answer immediately. She stood up slowly, walked a few steps away, then turned back. "The thing that followed you, it was tied to you." Chioma frowned, confused, afraid. "What do you mean? Tied to me?" The woman looked straight into her eyes. "Not everything that enters your life leaves easily. Silence, you were given. And something was taken." Chioma's breath caught, because now, it was becoming clearer. That night, you were not just there. You were used. Tears rolled down her face, slow, heavy. "And what was taken from you? That is what is attracting it." Chioma shook her head. No. But her voice had no strength. The woman stepped closer. "If you want it to stop, you must give something back." Those words hit differently. Fear, deep fear. "What do I have to give?" The woman didn't answer immediately, and that silence was worse than anything she had said. Then finally, a sacrifice. Chioma's body went cold, because she understood, not fully, but enough. "You must return what was taken, or replace it." Her heart started racing again, because now, the fear had shape. "What if I don't?" Her voice was barely a whisper. The woman's face hardened. "Then it will not stop. And slowly, it will take everything." Chioma froze, because she had already started seeing it, her life fading, her future closing, her identity breaking. Tears dropped faster now. I can't do that." The woman said nothing, because she already knew, not everyone survives this kind of choice. Days passed. Chioma did not go back to school properly. She stayed hidden, avoiding people, avoiding mirrors, avoiding herself. But the thing did not stop. It became stronger, closer, more aggressive, until one night, it happened again. But this time, it didn't just touch her, it held her tightly. And that was when she knew, time was up. The next morning, something changed. Chioma became quiet, too quiet, different. She dressed up, neatly. Calmly, like someone who had made a decision, she looked at herself in the mirror one last time. No fear, no confusion, just acceptance. And then, she left. Nobody knew where she went, not her classmates, not the school, not even the old woman. She disappeared, completely. Days later, news started spreading. A powerful politician had just won the election. Celebrations everywhere, joy, victory, and somewhere, far away. A quiet report, a missing girl, no trace, no explanation, no closure, just a name, Chioma, and that was how her story ended. Not with noise, not with justice, but with silence, because some decisions do not destroy you immediately. They wait, they grow, and when they finally come back, they take everything.